And then eventually I resolved the disagreements and the conflicts within myself so that I could just simply accept, yeah, damn, sometimes things are unfair. Sometimes things hurt. But I started to check myself and see, what did I want to give my power to? Where did I want my power to come from? I tried it on my own, right? I tried living life, being a good man on my own without God. Man, it was pretty lonely, pretty tough too, pretty miserable. I became an alcoholic, for those who don't know. I spent a long time in darkness for myself. And that which is, yes, God created all, and good and evil are greatly perspectives. But I believe that the evolution of the story, and actually, let me hold off because I got a man here who knows. Let me bring back our brother. Welcome back to Machine Lies. How are you?
Blessings, Jack. How are you doing today? Sorry, I couldn't locate my microphone.
No worries, man. Get yourself comfy. Hey, I was just playing along. Unless you got some thoughts, let me continue this one. You good?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, so this idea, the thoughts of evolution, meaning the activity and process of growth, development from a prior state or condition into a greater state or condition. For me, that's what I mean by evolution. And so I think the evolution of the story from the Garden of Eden, where there was a choice given to mankind and instructions, you can be with me, or you can choose to know more, right? And so mankind chose to know more by biting and eating from the fruit of knowledge, and in that knowledge got to know not good, right? And so the concern was as well that we would be more, or the story was that we would be more God-like in actually knowing the difference between good and evil. Well, it makes sense in the purpose and progress of human development that individually and collectively we need to learn those lessons, what is good and evil. But I think the point is, like Jesus did, we are to do, and God does, as God creates the evil and the devil, God uses the evil and the devil to strengthen and grow the goodness. It's just part of the design. So that's the key for each of us, to go inside within us, find the darkness, right? What are we keeping buried and trying to push down into hell, right? What are we denying about ourselves, and what can we actually bring out in better ways? That's the path of evolution, bringing the darkness into work for the light. What do you say, brother? I went on and on.
Absolutely. I think that, as I was reading this, chapter, 49 of the Tao Te Ching, and I think I read it yesterday on a show where Frank Monday was hosting, because he has a keen interest in Taoism, right? So one of the key lines in the chapter is, I'm good to those who are good. I'm also good to those who are not good. This is true goodness. So I think that is a huge revelation, right? You don't have to try to fix the bad people in the world, right? That's not your job or task. Your task is just to perform with righteousness and and just do good, right? It doesn't matter what you'll get in return. And I think it also says in the Tao that those know the existence of beauty only because of the existence of ugliness. Those know the existence of goodness only because of the appearance of evil. So in a way, we wouldn't even know what goodness is. So we could kind of flip that around on that, which is, right, how would we know what the good is if we didn't experience the evil? Right. So there is that aspect. It's kind of like the two go together, right? And then the last one is this from chapter 38. It states that those who are truly good are not aware of their own goodness and are therefore truly good. So this goodness doesn't come with a sense of accomplishment. It comes with a sense of humility. The same as the one who is a seeker of truth, right? They, they don't feel, puffed up by the truth that they've gotten, right? They feel humbled by it, right? That's the real truth. That's the real truth seeker, right?
And that's why I have faith in my path, honestly. I have truly learned how to humble myself to the truth. And in doing so, I open myself to greater truth. And this life, if we practice the life properly, right? Living each day, curious and open, being with goodness, right? That is the way of the Tao. And so these bitterness people, I felt it in my part that I felt it was my job to try and offer correction. But that wisdom truly is true. It's more just lead and be the example with the invitation for others to ask questions and understand, right?
Yeah, and that goes along with evil too. Evil doesn't need to be done anything about. It'll wipe itself out. Right? That's the truth about it, right? Like evil, like look at how the evil people, they're always going after each other when there's no good people to pick on, right? It's hilarious, right? They'll tear each other apart. They'll rip each other apart. It'll be obliterated from inside out. Even the thief relies on the non-thieving ability of his of his cohorts, right? So they rely on a simple moralism, which means don't steal from each other so we can steal more from others, right? But even then, they rely on a basic sense of morality for a sense of cohesion. So there is no non-goodness, right? Even the evil relies on the good, but the good does not rely on the evil, right? Truth does not need untruth. Untruth needs truth, and this is how it happens.
Isn't it beautiful? I mean, it's so glorious in its design and perfection and simplicity, right? The truth needs no untruth. The untruth relies on the truth. And if I can take us into some from the chat, though, because this is a question that's tough to answer for many reasons. How does any abuse lead to goodness? Let me speak for myself. Okay, I'm not blaming any abuse, not claiming any abuse, but I lived in an environment where I didn't feel comfortable. I developed a lot of anxiousness, right? Because there was arguments and conflicts in the household. Now, I resented the way I was raised. I resented, how dare you place me in danger when I was innocent and all this crap, right? I went through all that. But once I started looking at my life a little bit differently, what I realized is many people who go through periods of abuse where there is tension and conflict in the house, they actually develop this inner knowing, right? A sense of tuning in to protect themselves, right? And so I actually think God uses the pain and the suffering for us to grow and develop our strengths, our different talents. That's where we sometimes discover our strength and talent, is through the pain and darkness. So that's my guess. Do you have something other child abuse?
Well, I'll just say this, that I was abused as a child, right? By our neighbors, right? And as an elder, woman and an elder man, right? They were related to each other, right? And they would do these, they would act out these scenarios in which they would involve me in, I guess sexual abuse. I didn't know it when I was a kid, right? But this is what happened to me, right? As a kid, and it deeply disturbed my sensibility of sexual relations, and it kind of deterred me from a lot of things. It made me very weird as a kid, and so on and so forth. But I know that I've had several healthy sexual relationships, right, with women, and and that it hasn't deterred me from living a life of goodness, right, trying to seek understanding. And I think if I woke up tomorrow in another body as another person, it would cause me great distress, because I love myself, right? I love who I am, and I wouldn't want, there's many victims of child abuse that they would, you could choke the last bit of life out of them, but that's the only way you could take their life away. They'll hang on to every last bit of life, right? So so tell that to them, right? That their life is worth it, right? That's what I believe.
It's the human experience. It really is a fascinating process, because there are a lot of similarities and differences. And for anyone who has dealt with abuse, right, that can really harm our psyche, because we're too young to understand the grief. And what the grief really is we lose touch with our innocence. And it's the innocence that Jesus was trying to remind mankind of, right? If you repent and you're honest, you're forgiven. We don't have to stay in this way. And so that which is, sometimes this is the answer. Sometimes it is, by witnessing the suffer of others, we can actually find gratitude. It's a sick and twisted fact, but it is true. Recognizing that, hey, my suffering is not alone. There's others who are suffering. It doesn't remove our suffering, but sometimes it removes that feeling of being alone. And that which is, this is the key. That God, to help us rescue those who are suffering, is with everyone who is not involved in the suffering, and those who are involved in the suffering, but we've got to help each other.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jack. I think that takes away the human responsibility factor, right, quite a bit, right, to just shovel things onto God when we have perfectly, we're perfectly capable of solving the problem, even without invoking God, right? I know God is the ruler of all things, right? I know this in my heart, but the fact is that God empowered us, and a lot of the suffering in this world is our fault, right? So, so I do feel that.
Oh, yes, the world is the way that it is because of mankind's choices. We've got two guests in the back, and I want to bring up one I really have been hoping to catch again. Duck, please be patient, just a couple minutes. Objective Ethics, how are you today, brother?
Greetings.
Fantastic. Great to see both of you gentlemen, and the Ducks in the back there. Nice to see you guys. How are you doing today?
I'm doing
Feeling
great. I know Objective will totally agree with my recent comment, right? That, that we don't need to invoke any God to solve the problems in the world, right? Either in God's mistakes or in, trying to use rely on God to solve the problems, in which, he absolutely, if you believe in God, then he gave us ways to solve it ourselves, right? And then if you don't, then there's no need to, consider that.
Yeah, it's interesting because I did a show. Jack, you mentioned that show, and you said you had some things you wanted to talk about. I don't know if this is the time or place for it, but yeah, I'd love to have a conversation with you about that, clear up anything, or maybe you have some pushback. I'm always willing to listen to constructive criticism. But the one thing that was mentioned in that show, and it's relative to what you guys are talking about today, is somebody had asked me, what do I think of that God is, right? Can I give a definition for God? And my response was, because I don't believe in any gods, I actually can't, because God, the whole concept of God to me just seems incoherent. So I have to just work with the concepts that are presented to me from other people, and that's how I kind of assess things. But incoherence is one of the biggest problems that I see with these different beliefs. So what you guys are talking about, I completely agree with that. You need this, you need something what we might call evil for the sake of conversation in order to understand what's righteous or good. It's the law of identity requires the law of non-contradiction and the law of the excluded middle, right? If we don't have B, so in order to say A is A, we need to be able to say it's A is not B. And we need to say that A is not both A and B at the same time to make the whole thing coherent, that they all three work together. So I think of something like heaven, for example. Heaven to me seems like an incoherent concept because I've heard that heaven is this place of perfect bliss and perfect happiness, but we know that according to the stories that all babies go to heaven, right? But babies don't have enough time on earth to experience anything negative. So if they've never experienced anything negative and there's no negativity in heaven, how can they actually understand what is not negative? You know, what is this perfect goodness and stuff? To me, it just doesn't make any sense logically speaking. I'm not saying it's untrue. I have no way of knowing. Maybe there is a heaven out there. It'd be nice, you know, but I just don't understand how to conceptualize things like that.
I can answer that because I think it's because when we think of people like including babies in your example as, you know, having life to live or undergoing labors and hardships, you know, the work, you know, we don't want to step on the working man's neck, you know, that kind of thing. And so, you know, I think with Jack's sort of idea of goodness, we're talking about somebody who's undergoing their life. And so it's not inconsistent or incoherent. It's just a different way to signify the person and tell them that.
Duck, I'm not sure that addressed. I'm not. Yeah, I'm a little bit. I think I might be more confused now than less confused. Could you elaborate as to how that? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I say that. I just don't understand. I know you're a really smart guy, Duck, and I you know, tip my hat to you. But I just think that must have just gone over my head. So the baby doesn't. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like another way of taking the baby example and not disregarding it, but just putting it to the side. If there's like if you're talking about a roofer going to heaven and he likes roofing, and so in heaven as an example, there's 10 roofs to roof, but the roofer doesn't want to do like 15 roofs and he doesn't want to do 5 roofs. But we're still talking about, in any case, if we're talking about sending a roofer to heaven or something like that, you know, the working man again, you know, I'd bring up and say that, well, we're only talking about his roofing proclivities. We're talking about a being, an animal that's living their life, you know, in some sense, just like anything else on earth. But God isn't limited by that definition of a being, I don't think.
Well, that's fair, but if a roofer is gonna enjoy roofing and only a certain amount of roofing, then to conceptualize that, they need to know what it's like to not have the roofs to build, and they need to know what it's like to have too many roofs to build. So in order to conceptualize the thing, they need to know what the thing isn't, right?
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a fair point.
The question, and we've got another guest. I won't leave him waiting, but I do want to kind of touch on my question because it's related to something I think you said. These laws of logic, they came from somewhere, and I don't know if I've heard you.
From Aristotle, Jack. They're from Aristotle.
Well, the fact that from Aristotle they were recognized and they were kind of identified, but the laws have always been there, I would assume. And so this is where my mind has gone, is with the concepts of non-duality. It is a kind of unresolvable paradox. It is illogical, and yet it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's actually one of the things, the philosophical questions that it's a journey that I'm on right now, is that whether or not, because I'm a naturalist, but there's this interesting philosophical position called metaphysical naturalism, and things like mathematics and logic would be then necessarily a priori, and that the reality as we see it is a structure that's built on top of this. And it's metaphysical. It's not something like you could point at the environment and say, oh, look, there's logic or there's math, but rather reality seems to map onto this. However, the other alternative would be that simply these are just languages that we use to describe reality, and that they are necessary elements that exist within reality itself. And so that's something I'm working on right now, because it is an interesting question. It does seem to be, at the very least, it's my own personal incredulity makes it hard for me to believe that we just happen to have come across the perfect language to describe reality that works in all cases. I mean, it's possible, I guess, but for how we think that we're very advanced in some ways, but the truth is we're still great apes, and we have a long way to go as far as that goes. It just seems really unlikely that we would have stumbled across this perfect language, and it happened thousands of years ago, right? So with people like you said, like Aristotle, for example, Pythagoras, so on and so forth. And so this isn't even like a new thing that we just discovered with technology. We've kind of recognized this from a very early point, and that seems pretty unlikely.
Go ahead if you want to jump in, Timo.
I was just gonna say that that whole idea of a priori, forms of categorization, it sounds a lot like Immanuel Kant, right? I think he uses a certain bit of logical ideas, especially from Aristotle, for his epistemological idea, especially in Critique of Pure Reason, where he says things like space and time are like a priori, right? So you can't that you need them to discover other truths or whatever. They're like fundamental, foundational truths, and so on and so forth. And then I had another comment, but it kind of slipped my mind as you were talking. But yeah, blessings.
Hey, I'd like to welcome Set Scales. There's another thought I want to get to as well, but I want to welcome you. How are you doing today, brother?
I'm good. Is my audio coming through all right?
It's not bad. It's not bad. Welcome. Any thoughts you want to share yet?
Yeah, I heard you talking about the laws of logic in heaven. And this is something I discuss on my channel. And when it comes to the laws of logic, Aristotle didn't just come up with them necessarily. He based them in something, in the concept of being in the Parmenides sense. So it's rooted in that philosophy. And the idea is that because reality has unchanging characteristics about it, from here we can see we can observe those characteristics in our realm, which come about through things like the law of identity and non-contradiction and excluded middle. So these are just after effects of being.
Okay.
This is to a greater question of whether math and logic are invented or discovered. Right, it's a huge question in philosophy, right? Because you can kind of look at it both ways.
Right, and that's what I think much of science is its discovery of the fundamentals. Even history, it's a discovery and an interpretation of the fundamentals that exist. In my thoughts on thoughts, when I was trying to discern and identify truth, the conclusion I came to is that it is the truth that is divine, and the truth is known through the balance of logic and love. Like objective ethics had suggested, morality is reasoned compassion. Well, that is logic and love, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think when you get into second order cognition, they talk about, so some people would say the cognitivist view, non-cognitivist view would say that everything we do is motivated by our emotions. But neuroscience says that we actually use both logic and reason independently. Now, that doesn't mean they are mutually exclusive, because they work together with each other. But they, when you get into second order cognition, then we start to realize that it's not so much a linear thing, or these things aren't so much blocked out, but there's more think of like a web, or like a field, like an energy field, and that they tend to work hand in hand with each other. So it's really almost impossible to separate out one from the other, that logic and reason actually do work hand in hand together. Excuse me, I said logic and reason. I meant to say reason and emotion work hand in hand together. Forgive me.
You know, guys, I'm sitting here. For the folks who tuned in, I haven't been paying much attention to the chat, but I am sitting here just absolutely grateful for you men gathering these thoughts and observations. While it may sound technical, you guys do an incredible job of painting the picture. There was another something I was just learning about earlier. I was reminded of these concepts. I think it's called convergence, where I may be mistaken, but the concept is where similar ideas will emerge in different parts of the world because of, well, their observations on the natural order of things. It's the development of ideas. So I think this idea of the fundamental points of many of these old philosophies, and that's within each of the religions, I really do think it's just pointing all at the same thing, right? We're united.
Well, Jack, there's a good point in there, because like one example I'd offer that you made me think of is that like math and measurement evolves everywhere, but then when we put empiricism, as important as it is, but we just say, well, building the pyramids with an army of slaves in Egypt was an empirical sort of natural observation, but so was geometry, so was calculus, so was algebra. These are all counting, math and measurement sort of problems. It reminds me that there's like a very good reason people either invent meaning or they try to wrangle sort of what the world is like, because it comports to our emotions. It doesn't really comport to our emotionality or our objectivity or something like that. If we talk about only like great deeds and feats and stuff like this.
Yeah, I think that kind of points to what Objective was saying about this idea of whether we can map math and logic onto this sort of fundamental aspect of how we either acquire knowledge or how the brain functions, or like the physics of the universe, and that would mean that symbols come from somewhere, right? So this idea of them building a pyramid is actually mapped onto this inner drive that they have to in their quest for meaning. Because one thing is a hard problem of consciousness, but you can also look at the hard problem of symbols, right? When do animals start constructing symbols? And that increases or imbues a different relationship to the technology that they have, and of course it's one of the precursors of civilization, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I actually I hold the phenomenological view on phenomenological realism, because I do think that we do engage with the world because we only have access to our subjective perspective. So much of what we engage with is phenomenological, right? It's phenomenal.
Absolutely.
We just intuit things, but I do still believe that there's an objective reality outside of our perception that we could tap into. There's a number of different ways that we do that. But I'm getting ready to start my workout, so I'm actually going to have to step down and just listen while you guys do your thing. But it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with all of you. I really enjoy this panel, actually. It's a nice, very relaxing and intellectually driven search for truth, which I have a great deal of appreciation for when I do come across that. So thank you for all your time today.
Hey, thank you. And a little shout out. I learned of someone recently, a couple of guys, but Tav, T-A-V something.
Sab Abri or
Dr. Tavo Sanabri. He and I are actually going to be having a formal debate coming up here on forgiveness. Actually, it's going to be a really fun debate. I've had some good conversations with Dr. Tavo. He's his position on morality seems to have shifted, because he was actually, when I first met him, he told me that he's an emotivist, which I thought was interesting for a believer to be a motivist. I thought that was kind of I've never heard another theist say that they're an emotivist when they take the non-cognitivist view on morality. But as you all know, I'm a moral realist. I believe there are true moral facts. So I had a couple discussions on my channel with Dr. Tavo regarding morality, and it seems that he's actually shifting his position. I still haven't got him nailed down to moral realism yet, but he does seem to be going that direction. I know he can't be a moral anti-realist if he believes in a God. That's completely incoherent. A theistic God. So he's going to have to be shifting towards moral, or some model of moral realism, or divine command theory, something of that nature. But yeah, he's a really nice gentleman, very smart. He's got a great story, a personal, what do you call it, a testimony as to how he came to God, through surviving some serious medical problems. And I don't want to, out him or whatever on here. I'll let him tell his own story. But he's been public about it, so I'm not doing anything inappropriate here. But yeah, he's a good guy.
Amen. Well, and this is what I admire is people who can communicate themselves well. And so through you, and I'm discovering more. So thank you. I do want to jump in and welcome Dashton too.
Hello, yeah. Welcome. Be an example to be a good person and do good acts all the time, because being good is the reward of being good is being good. Just reward and just being it, because it's just who you are. Just be so good to everybody and find out a way to be a good person, a good friend for everyone that you exist in, because you're just one with them in the first place. And even if they're psychotically abusive or something, you still want to love them, because what would God do to have to own such a brat side of yourself? All images of God, cruel, loving, and cruel, and whatever it is, you're just dealing with the Lord, and you're just trying to unconditionally love these people just like the Lord would, or something with the Lord or whatever, I guess. And who is this? All, and we can connect with spirits and live in this telepathic party that can just happen. I do it for free all the time. Everything I do is for free. Astrology, roasting, both charts. Yep. Astrology is still an afterlife conversation, so I'm not wasting my time doing it here in the flesh. If you don't learn about it in the flesh, then in the afterlife, you're going to be still just as stupid as you were when you were here. That's what I presently found out. You know what I mean?
Dashton, I truly love your spirit, your energy. You are. Thank you. Thank you.
Leo Maxine. Oh my goodness. Leo rules the heart, by the way, too. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I was thinking.
Old one. Old heart.
Hey, I was tuning in earlier to a guy I follow online. He's very in tune with the modern news and statistics and corruption and stuff. Anyway, today on his live stream, he was having fun, playing some music. And I, looking at the bigger picture of it, this really is an incredible time for us to be alive as human beings where we are. We have so much potential in this world. So much goodness is available. Right?
So truth. Mm-hmm.
Well, it took me a while to realize this, and I wrote this down earlier. Those who walk with hate in the world, they've fallen from the grace of God's goodness.
I love and I have high hopes for all of you.
All of us, absolutely. We're here to raise the standards and the...
I have no standards. Come as you are.
All right. I get that. However, what I mean by raise the standards is
right.
Lean in the direction of goodness. If all of us do that, as all of us lean in the direction of goodness, Dashton, you said it perfectly. What was it? The reward of being good is being good? Something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, the big help is good. Be the big help. Human kindness really matters. Kindness is recorded in your soul, and you're giving it back to God in heaven, and shows what you did when you pissed off and gave God more patience to give you.
Dashton, can I just push back a little bit? And I don't mean to be contrarian here, but I think that one good thing that we should all do is learn to set healthy boundaries. It's extremely important. It's also important to understand how to delineate from
so many times,
respect.
still being friends with that person and enjoy the ride of separation slowly, if that's what's happening, or if it could, or if you're just stuck. I don't know. You just keep on loving.
Well, I think
keep on chugging with that love to that person who is not.
Yeah, but I think we can understand though. There's an important difference between respecting the humanity in a person and respecting people's behavior and people's actions, right? So there are people in this world that I do not respect their behavior and I don't want to interact with them because of their actions, but I still respect the humanity that's within them, right?
I run away with someone in a screen mask, and that is always someone you run into. They show such black eyes with anger in them for no reason, and it's just like they can't change the way they feel. It's like, hello, this has got to be real psychos or something. And people do have these type of problems, and they split their personalities and they change their mask.
Let me jump in here real quick, please, because I want to thank Chuck sincerely. Thank you for the contribution, for the gift of 10 memberships, and congratulations. Thank you to those who receive, sincerely. What a crazy life we're living, guys. I took living for granted a long time until I had moments to pause. Oh, Objective Ethics, you there?
I am, yeah.
So there's another, and again, you may have already spoken on these things, but the principles that are laid out in the Hermetic principles, you familiar with those? The olive or the mentalism and such?
Absolutely. Yeah, the 7 Hermetic principles. Yeah, I know about those. Yeah.
I'm not sure if Objective is familiar with that. It seems like a different type of subject than philosophy. I think it's more inclined to mysticism. I think he was mentioning earlier or on his show that he's not too keen on mysticism, but yeah, the 7 Hermetic principles. I can talk about them if you like, Jack.
Well, those things really got my mind kind of wondering, thinking about those things. You mind just, well, if Objective Ethics, if he wants to jump in. Otherwise, if you would, please.
No, go ahead. I am familiar with Hermes, actually, but go ahead, Machine Lines. I'm doing my workout, so I'll just be listening here while you guys hash this out. It'll be interesting to hear.
Thanks.
Are you doing sit-ups? I'll do them with you.
Yeah, I think it's I think it might be gender and then polarity and then spin and then rhythm and then correspondence and then mentalism. So how it goes is as you proceed up the sort of chain of creativity, right? Opposites give birth to unity. That unity gives birth to a pattern, right? That pattern gives birth to a correspondence, right, within that structure, and then that creates new things, right? Which is essentially the mentalism part. And you can also look at it, with the mind creating the correspondence, right, creating the rhythm and the harmony, which creates the spin and the polarity, and then creates the separation of the genders, right?
Okay.
Sorry, we got another guest here. We'll swing back to those.
Jack, I love you so much, Jack. I love you.
Oh.
How are you today, Jack?
Truly blessed. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm blessed today, Jack. I'm blessed. I'm blessed with beautiful weather, Jack. I'm blessed with a lot of things in life, and I just want to say thank you to God, Jack. Humility and thankfulness to God, Jack.
That's where it's at. Unless we're humble, we're not opening ourselves up for greater. And there's nothing greater than God. There's nothing. And so why not feel that? Why not be with that? That's
I
kind
want
of
to feel like I belong in the Talcott universe, like we're all together in one, Jack. We're all in one mission. One mission to grow, Jack.
The mission together are the same.
it is. We are all on the same mission. The path is purification. In purification, that's where we enter into renewal. But we've got to cleanse and detoxify ourselves, particularly of the corrupted belief systems or the wounds of the hearts.
Jack, is this person next to me some kind of druid or something?
This is our friend Dashton. He is an amazing, gentle, and beautiful soul. He shares his love often.
I see that he moves his hands in odd ways, Jack, but that's okay. All
I'm
right.
a free astrologer and a real free psychic vision practitioner, and I have evidence and everything I recorded, and that's literally what I'm doing in my lane. And I also play bars because I have Palace of Pisces and 10,000, period. And I make movies. And I'm a casting director. And I meet famous people and turn them into stars.
Jack,
On the cover.
Jack, I did not understand one thing that was said there.
It's
my
okay.
volume low? It usually gets low on stream.
It might be your
Yes.
it might be your energies are too high for him to comprehend yet.
Yeah,
What's
Jack,
your
I'm already a little buzzed today, Jack. My senses are a little subdued with the alcohol. so I'm
Yeah,
not really-
Dustin's actually a cool fella. He really is. He's a lovely
What's your
fella.
I'm like watching. I feel like I'm watching like a Lord of the Dance or something, Jack. You know what I mean? You ever remember Lord of the Dance?
Cam up.
But
Cam
he
up.
is a lovely
Come
fella.
dance with me.
He's
We're
a
not
bit
human.
strange, but he's a lovely fella.
Newsflash. We're not human. We're just dancers. That's it.
Anyway, before we go any further, big up Jack. Love and peace to you, brother.
Like that.
Hello, Doug. Hello, Scales. Big up to my fucking brother, fucking Imperius. Hello, Dustin, sweetheart. How you doing?
Jack, I have a question
What up?
for you.
Whoa,
Is
Craig.
Dominic, is that Set Scales your son, Dominic, Jack? Is that Dominic?
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't know, Jack. I was.
No.
No. Hey, back to the idea and the thumbnail and the topic. God's love known in the righteousness. We feel the love when we walk with love. And it's in love that we are whole, that we need nothing. And when we are whole and we need nothing, well, then the righteous path reveals itself. It's when we feel less than whole, when we're feeling inadequate, that's where we come up with excuses to be stupid with each other. And I don't think God wants mankind to stay stupid. I really don't. I really don't. I think God wants us to grow up a little bit. Meaning, stop allowing fools to create wars. Stop sending innocent people to detention camps and prisons, right? That's what we're here to do, is to become
That was a
one.
joke. Was you just about to say prisoners?
Time to grow up and have
I'm playing, Jack. I'm just playing, dude. You know I love you. I'm just playing.
Amen. Holy
Dustin, please
Monkeying around.
calm down, dude. Dude, seriously, please
Cam
calm
up. I
down.
want to see y'all dance. I'm
No.
like,
See, Dash
If you're not here, hold on, Jack. If you're not here to get Jack's word out and not part of the show, please leave.
are you trying to
No,
accuse me of
it's
something
great.
that you just said?
It's all good. Sorry,
Yeah.
what were you saying, Dash? I was talking over you.
Nothing. I can't direct anything from here. You're the one with the direction of the conversation, I guess. But I was agreeing with you, and then he just I don't know. when I say
It's-
something I wasn't paying attention. Kind of read the
It's
chat.
all right.
All I was asking was calm down, please.
He knows I've gotten frustrated with people in the past for being distractions, but you know, I guess here I am having different standards for different people again.
I
'Cause-
have Uranus and Sagittarius in the 6th house. It makes me not stop moving. Mhm.
well, you are who you grow into. That's what all of us are. We are who we've grown into, but who we might become,
We're all
it's
just
not
stuck
limited. I'm excited to see what the future is going to bring, because mankind is waking up. And yes, I do attract the most unusual people. It's not anything disrespectful towards any of you. I think you're all wonderful and unique in your own different ways. And I think it's pretty cool what's happening here with the Jack Talcott live stream, right? The chats with Jack.
Amen to that, brother.
We do get some characters, right?
And how many times have you heard me say amen, Jack? Never.
Hey,
I've been saying
And
amen.
you
all
got
the whole
you
time,
guys
agree with everything that
you
Jack
guys
said
can
today.
thank Jack for that, because I came to this channel as a non-believer, and as I said, I'm slowly getting there.
Believing and non-believing is not even
Seriously.
required to sense in the spirit.
ooh,
Simpler
Let's-
than that.
say that again. Believe and non-belief.
Believing and
is
not believing is not required to be sensing in the spirit and seeing what's true for what it is. For in the presence, if you can sit there with your mind focused with another person you want to wholeheartedly connect with and truly understand and absorb anything that they have, to see them for and see in spirit as well, because you can see spirits like everything that's you're looking for love, you're gonna find it inside someone else's spirit. Whoever their loved ones are with them or whatever, or have been in with them, or their family members, because they're only coming back for you, you know, in spirit that you're connected to with your light. And plus, like when people are pregnant, they haunted by their spirit of their loved one in their belly that are coming to this earth. And spirit is in the realm of that, and they can haunt the person. I can see what gender they are, what they're gonna look like when they grow up and stuff. And it's true. Like we're all psychic, we're all telepathic. That's all we are doing. You can still be a douchebag or a good person. It doesn't matter. But do good. So good, you know, is that's the benefit of being good. That's where you really shine, when you're doing something good for somebody else and everything. And just being good to be an
I
example.
say that I know God exists. It's not.
I know
belief.
God. Yes, an angel told me this. She said, "I'm going to show you a testimony of God, and you got chambers." So she mentioned the word God. And she said, "I have good chambers." I don't even know what the good chambers means, but she was an angel, and she was around this Libra that was testifying, or like verifying. You know, like being my evidence. What it was called? Witnessing. That I am actually communicating with the others, the spiritual realm, through these people, because their loved ones are in that spiritual realm. Like his passed away wife was like, she was like African American or something like that, and they had no electricity in a duplex in my visions, and they had this box that was made of wood. They would read she would read the scripture, and it was in my visions, and I read it out loud, and it was the same scripture that was her favorite was, and he was confirming that was true. That I was seeing visions through this guy who's a Libra, and he's a douchebag because he lit up a cigarette and didn't care after this came out from
pause.
God.
I think Jack.
Please.
I got evidence and recordings of witnesses. I'm not just making things up. It's just like
I understand.
words.
Please
Under pressure.
pause. Please. You started with a question. You started one place and you continued on. I do want to welcome Hank, please. How you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing well. I didn't want to distract from the thing, but I reviewed, I think it was last on panel on Saturday, and I reviewed what happened about 5 times. And unfortunately, I still don't understand. So I want Craig, since he's here, to baby 5 for me, try to explain your message.
What? I wasn't paying attention. What?
He wants Jack to explain his message.
No, I want Craig to explain Jack's message because he understood and I didn't. So I want Craig to explain. Yes.
What message is that?
real-
What are you on about?
Here, real brief before we, Chuck, sorry for the interruption. Chuck, thank you again for the contributions and congratulations to you folks who are the random winners. Sincerely, thank you. So, Chuck was asking Craig if he could present what it is I'm saying. For some reason, Hank hasn't picked it
I
up
miss
yet.
half the show. I'm only mainly here for support to Jack.
Because I was confused on Saturday, and Craig said he understood, and so I just want to see. It's been a couple of days, so maybe he can babyfy for me, so I can understand Jack's message. Because Craig knew it, and I didn't.
Well, how about we try a different way? I mean, because what I'm suggesting is that collectively we give a higher regard to truth over untruth. Okay? That's really all it is, Hank. We stop enabling lies. And it kind of ties to what Dashton started with. I wanted to swing back to this, brother, was believing or not believing. It's not the goal. What was it you said? It's knowing, right? It's knowing and testing. That's the path. To know something, you've got to first accept it, maybe test it out for yourself, and then determine, is it or is it not? Hank, have you done that with what I'm saying?
Yes, but I watched the clip 5 times. Craig said that he understood it, and as Aaron Ross says, if we can't show it, you don't know it. So I just want him to just go ahead and explain to me like I'm 5, like Richard Feynman would suggest.
Well,
To be honest, I can't even remember what Saturday's show was about, to be honest with you. All I know is that we need to get Jack's word out there to try and stop these fucking wars and show peace and love so the world can get peace and love.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that matters. And so expose these fucking tyrannical fucking overlord bloody fucking people who are so fucking corrupted so that we can get our peace and love in the world.
Yeah,
As I
yeah.
said, I don't remember Saturday's show, and I don't remember what I said Saturday.
Oh, okay,
So-
that's fine. Well, that's acceptable.
So
So-
did what he say make sense as far as what it is?
I mean, I was already doing that.
Well, the idea of ending wars and overcoming the corruption, that's really the gist of it.
Yeah, so spreading Jack's message, which I was already doing that. I introduced Jack
It
to
was
5 different
from
new
what,
people
from
he
what
didn't know.
from what I would remember, what I do remember is everything that Jack was trying to say. You were questioning every single thing, saying like you're not really into what he was trying to put out there. That's what it seemed like to me. That's what I do remember.
Yeah, you're just contradicting Jack and trying to belittle him.
No, I don't think that's the intent. I do think Hank is wanting to understand.
It may not be the intent, but it's the result, Jack. It's the result that matters.
Well, and the result
Thank you
is
for backing me up, Pimp.
the result is we're here again. And every day is an opportunity for us to understand, to grow, to help each other understand and grow. And so there's another old statement, Hank. I can explain it, but only you can understand it. So what might help us help you understand what I claim to trust?
Nutrition.
Well, can I ask a question, Jack? I don't know. Well, like, let's say we end the wars and we get rid of the corruption. What do we do then?
Well, that's
Show
where
them
we
their space is equal and our space should be equal, and we could make an equal space for everyone to be equal and have their rights in their equal way. Boundaries, though. I don't know. Put them in their space where they can be that space and have our space equal and not harming each other's spaces. Something so logical, like what is so bad about each other's space, but Keep it just where it
Jack,
is.
I don't want to have space with away from anybody here, Jack. I love everybody. No space, Jack. Only
Well,
spooning.
We love
Sure.
you too, Imperious. We love you too.
I don't really know that conversation. I don't study things like that, but I just know that's just bad to start fighting for no reason, physically or something. What are they trying to?
I was
Well-
just going to check. Are you sure it was Saturday's show or Sunday's?
I have no clue.
Yeah, it's definitely Saturday's show. I watched it 5 times.
Why
Absolutely.
don't you guys get a Jack's trying to speak right now? Jack's trying to speak. Go ahead, Jack. Please go ahead, Jack. I want to hear some wisdom today.
Jack looked ready to ask my question or answer it, so I don't know if he still wants to respond.
I do. I think what Dashton jumped in is a rough idea. What I believe could happen is if we're able to reclaim the power of our governments, we end the wars. And by ending the wars and getting control of our governments, we can redo the economic systems. And what I believe is available is we get honest people together for honest solutions. And if we're not in competition with other nations and within the nations, I can imagine mankind coming up with some amazing solutions. Cleaning up our oceans, cleaning up our rivers, trying to restore the damage that war and selfishness has created.
Yes,
Wouldn't that be
please
amazing?
remind people. Yes.
Yes. So how do you make sure?
Jack, I think I'm going to start that, Jack. Shut up, Jack. I think I'm going to start that, Jack. I'm going to give.
Mike is fucked up, Imperious.
Mike is fucked up. Hold on.
Well, and Hank was trying to talk too. Go ahead.
Oh,
Hank.
is that what it was? It might have been then. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was probably both talking at the same time. So how do we make sure that people around us are being honest?
Oversight. I mean, community determines fairness, and when honest people come together, that's how fairness is found. We have the theatrics, right, of fairness in the jury pool and stuff like that, but it's not fair. It's corrupted. But the principles
How can the jury be corrupted?
Because the laws are corrupted, Chuck. And what the jurors may hear is often limited by a judge, by a prosecutor, by a defense. I mean, I'm not intimate with the process, but I know there's rules to entering evidence, and sometimes the jurors don't always agree.
Jack, it's called the voir dire process, is where you select jurors and everything like that. Then you
Yeah,
have
I
juries.
spent 6
Got a jury
months
duty right
on
now.
federal grand jury.
This is your duty.
I got a summons the
what
other
is-
day
But it's not
Oh,
Jack.
really?
Did you?
Oh,
which state, Jack? Which state?
from Washington.
Well, oh boy.
Yeah.
Aw, I vote you to be a jury duty.
Shit.
Jack
Oh, you got-
always votes.
Oh,
Jack
yeah.
always.
The only thing that was bad about the federal grand jury was it went for 6 months where I live. I was like, damn, get off my back.
Hey,
I got lucky though. We didn't get no cases called up.
God damn it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
I'm sorry,
Um,
Jack.
it's nothing. The this life is an interesting adventure. That's for sure.
For sure.
Yes, it
Things-
is.
Well, I know things can change in a moment. That's why it's important for us to pay attention, to do what is right, because doing good is important in this world. This is our only opportunity to do so.
Jack, in the twinkle of an eye, it can all turn around.
In
Can I
good and
ask
bad.
Imperious a question?
Sure, Chuck.
Imperious, where does it start at? The good.
Where does what start at?
The good.
Well, at God, because all God is all things good by definition.
All right. Where does it go from there?
I mean, I'm not a theologian, but I would think it would go to,
Welcome
the
back,
people.
Scales.
I would think it would go to the things God created.
Go to heaven.
You know what I mean?
Does it go to man, then woman, then children, then community?
Well, it goes to human beings who have the choice to be good, I think.
Right.
Okay.
I think Chuck is
I
talking
was just
about.
curious. I don't know that much about Catholic. That's why I was asking.
Well, Chuck, it's about ability to comprehend. Like, animals are by default good because they're only acting into the parameters that God instilled into them. Human beings are the only ones with choice that could act in an evil way because we have the conscious ability to understand right from wrong, dictates from, adverse actions. That's why an animal, like if an animal does an evil thing, it's not like it's evil. It's programmed. Sorry, Jack.
Thank you. I know you were answering the questions, but hey, DNW, welcome to you. How are you today?
Hello, Jack. Yeah, I'm well, Jack. I don't know how, Jack. I don't know how, but I'm able to, at the moment, retain my composure when all around me are losing theirs. And I'm extremely thankful for this newfound, I would say, gift from God. If ever there was a gift from God, it's being able to keep your head while all around you are losing theirs. And I'm very, very grateful for this ability, Jack. I didn't used to have this, Jack, when I was younger. I was a little bit of a mad bastard. I admit it. Okay. A bit hot-headed sometimes, But now, for some reason, Jack, maybe it's the Jack Talcott influence. By the way, Jack, I say that in truth, actually, because you are a good influence, Jack. You are a good influence.
Thank you.
We have fun. We have fun here,
That
guys.
is definitely true. That is definitely true. It's good influence.
I know we have fun here, and we do. We're men. We have a little bit of banter, and we kind of throw little jabs at each other. But at the end of the day, guys, for most of us, it is in good spirit, and there is progress being made, and I do thank you for that.
Truly,
there's always progress being made on Jack Talcott's show. Look, we're getting close. We're getting closer to a marriage between me, Mariah, Snowfire, and Emily. We're gonna have a beautiful matrimony.
Don't forget about me, Imperious.
Why do you always go to the gutter?
Hold on, Imperious. You've been asked not to bring up Emily's name, okay? Particularly in your personal relationship narratives. Please be respectful, okay?
All right, I'm gonna get married to a person with the letter E as the starting name, and then Mariah and with Snowfire. Because look, Snowfire will make the Aryan babies with me because she's got blonde hair, I have blue eyes.
Why do you always go there?
Go where?
You're taking it way off the subject matter.
Chuck, you're yelling again.
I don't even go there.
The subject matter is love, Chuck. The subject matter is love. Come on.
I'm talking about love. You're showing anger, which is the opposite of love right now. I'm giving
Are you showing love, Imperious, or are you just showing, trying to flex domination?
I'm full of love.
I'm in love with Imperious.
I'm in love with everybody. I love Craig. I'm in love with Craig too. Craig's my side piece. Go ahead. Sorry, Jack.
I certify that Imperious is not trying to flex any domination. Otherwise, I would be bumping heads with him, and he's definitely not doing that.
Well, I don't know by saying he's going to get all the women and spread his seed. Is that not doing that?
No, because I'm going to get my tail too.
Can we try and get back on subject?
Absolutely. Back to Jack.
Right. Jack, what is it? Jack?
Thank you, Craig.
Jack, do you want to say something?
Jack, cheer up, Jack. Jack, you're helping a heavy heart today. Cheer up.
Holy cow, guys. Let Jack just relax for a second.
You know, my prayer is to find a breakthrough, to actually have some fun accomplishing some good things in this world. How do we find a breakthrough, guys?
Well,
Focus.
I'm still waiting for a response to the last letter or whatever you want to call it that I sent to Trump. They still haven't answered me yet. The
Yeah.
first two responses were just generic responses. You know, blah 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 blah. Life is good. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. You know, donate here. But this last one they haven't answered yet, so I'm waiting to see what they say. And I'll let you know.
Okay, so we got one suggestion on how to get a breakthrough is wait. Any other ideas?
Well, we need to
And those are-
identify the source of conflict so we can seek to resolve it and restore peace.
That is beautiful.
Jack, I say we take all the politicians, Jack, and take them out back and break their fucking knees, Jack. That's what I think will get things done. We got to make sure that these politicians, these fucks, Jack, they can't be getting away with this child pornography. And this. I'm tired of it, Jack. I'm really sick of this world, Jack. I'm sick of these people.
Well, and that's kind of it. We can get righteous in our anger, or we can use that as motivation to move with love. Rather than being angry at the situation, wouldn't you love to be a part of the solution?
Can I love being part of the solution by breaking their kneecaps, Jack? I mean, isn't that part? I mean, that's love.
No,
Can
it's
I
not.
ask, Dashton, what is that on the wall behind you? What on earth is that? Oh, they've turned their camera off.
Yes. So
well, here in my community, we got what we call help boxes all around town. And you can take clothes, you can take food, you can take anything and put in them boxes, and people just come by and get what they need.
yes. So
You know, it's a start. It's a start. That's all I can say.
So at the beginning of the month, I sent messages to my congressman and my two senators, and Democrat Senator John Fetterman actually responded to my message and says that he will make sure right to repair. He'll think about putting right to repair in the National Defense Authorization Act, so that the military doesn't get ripped off by contractors, that they can service their equipment themselves.
Good idea, Hank.
Because we get the rest of us get hand-me-downs from the military, unfortunately. Hopefully, we can move it to
Jack, you know what I say we do? Everyone stop paying taxes to fund the military. There you go, Jack. Nonviolent resistance. Just don't pay it. Let them. They can't arrest everyone, Jack. They can't arrest everyone.
The problem in Imperius is that they just take your taxes right out of your paycheck before you even have a chance to do anything. Most people, so
Then you just stop working, and we start just defying everything, Jack. We start giving to each other.
You can't
Building
just stop working.
Yeah, you
Come
can.
on,
You build
Imperius.
communities. You build communities. You have people helping each other. You must find a way to be self-reliant. Or you
If everybody quits, then nothing gets. You don't advance.
yeah, I'm okay with not advancing. I mean, what are we advancing for?
And that's what unions do. They bargain by saying nothing gets built until you help us. So what are you talking about? Like, yeah, that is collective bargaining. The baseball guys are going to do it this summer or this winter.
We can still advance without going to war and causing harm to other people.
Tell you what, let me please, DeFreak, thank you. I'm happy knowing I can call you a friend as well. We are here to influence the world in good ways, right? Goodness rewards goodness. So who are we giving our support to? What is the goodness that we're offering in our world, in our community, in our nation? I mean, those are the questions. So
That's
here,
what I'm saying.
I'm going to do this for just a moment. Emily, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello,
ma'am.
Emily.
I'm doing good. Yeah, about what you guys were talking about before, because I saw this really cool quote, and pardon my voice, I still have a cold. It's truth is not what you want it to be, it's what it is, and you must bend to its power or live a lie. And that's by Miyamoto Musashi. So, and when I saw that, I was kind of like, must bend to it. Who wants to bend to bad things that are true, you know? But that's not what they mean. They mean just facing that that's how it is. And then you have to adapt. So, like, when you see your president, for instance, when I try to tell people about Trump and they have this really clean cut image of him and belief that he loves our country, you just can't talk sense to them. And even with showing them the facts. And then some people, you know, gradually, what makes them more likely to bend to reality is that if they see there's something they can do about it, if they still have that hopefulness. So that's kind of, you know, and they just passed that Transparency Act in 2025, but now we're seeing some traction on it. So that link I put in the chat where Virginia Guffey's case files are going to be finally released. You know, we're going to finally get some of this truth, but look how long that took. You know, that was back in November 2025. We're up here in the summer of 2026. So things do take time.
That's actually pretty quick, Emily. For the
Well, I know
government.
in the scheme of things, but
Yeah. A friend of mine used to say that most people would rather climb a tree and tell a lie than stand on the ground and tell the truth.
Well,
And
you
I
know,
think that's kind of true.
the thing about bending with the power of truth is that if you do that, it's so powerful, it will actually empower you.
mm-hmm.
Well, the truth comes from God. With the power of God, we get the truth, the love, and all the other blessings that He bestows.
And that's all around us at all times.
True.
Yeah, it's available to anybody for sure.
I think it's hard for people to feel it sometimes if they're surrounded in the midst of something pretty dark or difficult. And that's one of the biggest things we're fighting too, is the whole antinatalist. This is a hell realm. Everything sucks. Let's give up. They're really promoting that as an industry. They're capitalizing off of it, profiting off of it. And people sometimes lean into that, and it's very dark. And I'll see people say things sometimes, and I always want to try to say something to them, you know, to pull them out of that. People are kind of getting to where they don't really care if they see somebody hurting or falling for some of this garbage. And it's hard to care about everybody at all times, but you know, the more we do where we expose a different way of thinking to as many people as possible, that's something.
Absolutely. And I think that really the place that people need to be pointed is inward. So that way they learn themselves, they learn how to treat themselves. And then when they do that, they could extend that respect towards others.
Totally.
Yeah, if we raise, well, let me not. It seems when I raise the standards for myself, I also raise the standards for what I felt others deserve too.
Yep.
That might not be true. I don't know. But I know today I've got higher standards for myself, and I know that people deserve better.
And you deserve better too.
I've helped try to help many of people, Jack, and it's up to them what they do with it is the problem.
Well, this is the problem of our world, is that we've lost respect for the truth. We enable.
I think we lost respect for God, if you ask me. But that's
right.
my opinion.
And I thought you just said truth comes from God, so the two go together. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is where I think the goal of ending secrecy in the governments and the corporations actually makes a lot of sense, right? Because when we don't have the almighty dollar as the ultimate power, well, then the truth reigns supreme. And the truth is the equalizer. If we want equality, we got to make sure that people have access to what's equal. And that includes especially knowledge. If it's relevant, we should have access to it.
Yes. Yeah, and that's why I asked the Congress people to make it so that the at least the state can not have the corporation keep secrets from the state, because a lot of us can take military hand-me-downs. We unfortunately, money's going on in war, so at least when military is done with their stuff, we can reuse it for peace. So that's why I don't want the stuff locked behind proprietary nonsense and encryption.
Well, they had a little success in the UK, Hank, where they're going to make them. When cell phones first came out, they had batteries that you could take off and put on a charger and slap another battery on it. Well, the UK is making the phone companies go back to that.
Awesome. Filled replaceable batteries. We should.
So, I mean, it's a start. It might be little, but it's a start, Hank.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is our lifetime, guys. We have the opportunity to do whatever we can and pretty much anything we want.
There's I was just reading about how Jared Kushner met with Netanyahu today, or it was yesterday now actually, for 4 hours, and came out saying we were going to back further military action in Gaza. He has no official role in our government. So
who's that?
Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law.
He's an envoy. Yeah, he's an envoy.
So these are the kind of things where we would have. I'm sorry, Jack.
Well,
I was going to say where we have standing to say that this is illegal, basically.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, today I've seen that NATO is positioning a bunch of airplanes, fighters, and ones that can spy and all that stuff in Norway and all around. I can't remember the name of the state, the Russian state that's surrounded by Finland and Poland, I think. But they're doing a massive buildup with aircraft and whatnot. Well, there was a missile fired into Poland. I think it was Poland, but it fell short.
And
yeah, I don't like what's happening.
Well, this is what I mean. We've got ample evidence. There are mountains and mountains of evidence to stand upon that demonstrates it's time for the people to intervene in what's going on in the international banking schemes, government schemes. It's time to restore justice and righteousness. Otherwise, mankind is on a path towards self-destruction.
I have some good news. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, DW.
I don't know if restore is the right word. I don't know if it was ever there, Jack.
Fair.
I've got some good news.
Time to
Layla
create
Mickleweight.
it. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No, I just want to throw some good news.
I don't know what word we could use. Well, what is the word? Create? I mean, yeah.
Manifest. Yeah, no, Layla Mickleweight posted last night that the lawsuit, this is the darkest corner of the internet, so I won't go into any detail, but the child trafficking and CSAM corner that is a whole part of like Pornhub and that whole industry, they just lost their case and Layla won. So the dedicated attorneys representing the survivors of the Godfrey LLP and Cohen LLP and the National Center on Exploitation, they won a class action for 122. Hang on a second. They won a class action for $120 million for the victims of child trafficking. You got to realize this also includes little boys. There was a young man who was taken into a home, attacked, and then that was put on Pornhub. He eventually killed himself. It was put up and down repeatedly, and he just couldn't take it anymore. So, this is on behalf of these children. There's been $120 million. And the reason this case is important is it's eating into not only the company's profits, they're trying to change the law to where they will be held criminally liable, these CEOs, and several of them are named in cases that are ongoing. So that's one important corner of what you could call a polycrisis. The environment is in crisis and the people are in crisis and everything's out of sync. So getting it back in sync is a multifaceted process.
We're out of alignment, out of sync, out of alignment, and the disruptions in the society, the conflicts, it's because we've lost alignment with reality. It's sick and twisted.
It's Rome all over again.
Well, it's Babylon. Yeah, we are
Yeah.
in modern Babylon, and America and the Western world, supporting the banking dynasty, are the beasts that have risen from the land and sea. And so we are in the belly of the beast of corruption, greed, of war. And I'm convinced that God created us to be who we are, to learn what we've learned, so that we could have the opportunity to help save the rest of the world from the unhealthy American influences.
Well, I see Trump is withdrawing troops from the Middle East, or planes.
And he put them in there, Chuck.
What?
Chuck?
I didn't hear you, Hank.
He put them in there.
Yes, I know, but I'm saying he's withdrawing them now.
No,
I don't
he's
know
not.
for what purpose, what
Chuck.
reason. I just read
No,
a
he's
report
not.
today.
Chuck, well, okay, and what I'm assuming, now let me, again, maybe I'm being prideful and disagreeable, but I'm assuming what you're referring to is that one ship that had the sailors wanting to jump off.
I'm talking about the warplanes. He's withdrawing warplanes. He's withdrawing tankers. He's withdrawing the spy planes, EC-8 or whatever they call them.
I did hear. Okay, I may have heard something about that, because
I mean, I personally don't like the guy. Personally, I don't like the guy.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never seen a man babble his mouth with bullshit as much as him.
Right. He's a disgusting representative of men.
Of the United States.
Yeah, and this is the part. This is a symptom of fascism, right? When the individual becomes the symbol of the nation, and that's what Donald Trump is manipulating his supporters into believing, that
every president,
okay,
every president is a symbol.
Great. Did that help, Chuck?
Well, I'm just saying, if we're going to throw stones, let's throw them where they actually belong, to all of them.
Where was the stone throwing when I was simply trying to describe our modern day situation, Chuck?
I wasn't throwing stones at you.
I wasn't throwing stones at Trump. I was describing the facts.
Oh, it was just the tone of your voice, and it sounded like the inflection.
Okay, so can we get past that? And did you understand why?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Go ahead.
Well, I actually think someone's got to do something. And I know there's people that are trying to do something, but I want to do something more. I've got this idea in my head, guys, and I can't let it go.
What is it?
What is it?
Well, just what I've been saying. That America has this opportunity to lead the world into proper peace and reforms. But we got to deal with what we've got. We got to work with what we've got. And the lesson I've learned over and over in my life is just that. Start over, Jack. Start over. You've got what you've got. It's time for a new direction and a different way. Happened to me a whole bunch of times. So why not? And actually, here, guys, I recognize this too. You can paint the case. This is Jack's egotism. This is Jack's narcissism. But it's the reality of my situation. I'm starting my life over. I'm inviting the whole damn world to do that. Let's start over in a new way.
What does that entail, Jack?
It means accepting where we are, identifying what's good, overcoming and letting go of what is bad, And what is bad right now is the failure to actually investigate and bring justice to the victims of the Epstein files, to the victims of Gaza, to the proxy wars that the Americans are paying for in Ukraine and all over. We got to stop, guys.
But you can't attack every problem because those problems are huge. You got to pick one, right, Hank?
Yes. Which one do you prioritize at the moment?
You could attack them all at once in some ways systemically. Like I was just reading about 50% of the coal is mined by 8 to 13-year-olds in Pakistan. I mean, it is corporate greed is at the helm of the entire thing, and selfishness.
So I'm supposed to just magically make the corporations that's greedy? I don't know how to do that.
Sure you don't, because that wouldn't make sense. You're not going to roll up to someone and say, hey, greedy guy, be less greedy. And he's going to go, oh, okay. That's not how that works. We kind of withdraw our support from these people. We stop partaking and we start openly speaking out. And then we also pivot and do something completely different. And we do it out in the open, you know, and you can get gone after for that. We see examples. That's why they make examples of people, but you do it anyway.
I mean, I've been using Linux since 2010 because to withdraw from many of these bad software companies.
That's cool.
That's a
And you
personal
speak out on
choice
that.
there.
That's cool too.
It's software freedom. Richard Stallman remind us to free ourselves from these corporations.
Well, what's going to free us is when honesty is protected more than profits. We've got media, news media. I just heard a testimony recently, and I don't think it was in the United States, but it's a common problem I can imagine. These non-disclosure agreements. Employees are threatened with fines and prosecution if they discuss what they experienced, right?
Didn't you get that talk when you left the service? The same talk? Not to discuss what you had done? Or am I wrong?
Actually, Chuck,
I did.
We'll see, and that's an interesting statement because I don't remember the exact wording, but there was an image that really stood out to me at the Veterans for Peace convention. It was the image of a battle-worn soldier, you know, kind of walking and looking worn. And the caption said something like, the wars have continued because those who went before us were told not to speak of what they saw.
True.
And that is the truth. Wars have been continuing because the public has no clue about the seriousness.
Well, that's like there was a helicopter company when I was at Fort Campbell that was a secret helicopter company. It was the 160th Aviation Group. And what happened was a couple of them fellas got killed, and the relatives kept pushing and pushing until they finally acknowledged that outfit actually existed and gave these families their proper stuff they were due.
Oh, it's far worse than that, man. The sickness that's happening all throughout this world and our nation, it's all through conspiracy. Human beings agreeing to conspire, right? Agreeing to be cruel, selfish, corrupted. And it's been written into the rules, guys. The entire legal system is a sham. It's broken. And until we fix it, I mean, actually what's happening with Donald Trump too, the guy's coming in with a lot of scholarly advice. People have studied that position and what would be the greatest agenda. What was it? Agenda 25? I mean,
yes,
there's been so many appointments made on loyalty not actual ability. And this is signs of fascism, guys. We've got serious problems in the world at this time, but at the same time, guys, if we can have faith, then we can celebrate how good it is to be alive. And
I
maybe
do every day.
So, Jack,
Every day.
have you considered not following the rules? If the rules were bad, we just ignore them.
I abide by truth. And in abiding by the truth, I seek to abide by the rules and the boundaries of others, right? I seek to cause no harm, but all of us, whether we realize it or not, we break different rules at different times.
But I'm going to break all the bad rules. I'm going to break all the wrong rules.
Thank you.
Oh, well, hell, I can show if you're looking first.
He's got nice ears.
The military recruiter never takes you to the graveyard to show you the end result of what they're signing you up for. That's
Well,
what
I know
the
where it
said.
is.
That is the truth.
Chickies.
See,
There's my little girls right there. And then I got easy now, easy.
Yeah, more chicks than Imperious.
Those are ducks. These are ducks.
Hell yeah.
I got a little runt in there. The yellow one's a runt. Okay, I'll back off. Easy, fellas. They don't want to be on camera. They're shy.
Humans are bad for the environment, according to the billionaires. I suggest that billionaires are bad for humanity.
What billionaires? Not all of them can be bad.
Well, let's consider the words said by Bill Gates, by representatives of the World Economic Forum. You hadn't heard them say those things, Chuck?
Well, we don't abide by the World Economic Forum. Now, Bill Gates is another story, but that's one person out of how many?
Hush, Chico. Hey, Chuck, you know that Elon Musk being the richest, and then the second, number 2 and 3 are Google, Alphabet, and so, you know, these CEOs control information gateways and on the very platform we're on. And information is where everything begins. People are kind of navigating and circumnavigating around it, but that's a huge issue.
Yeah, so
Well, yeah, but information overload is a problem.
Okay, Chuck,
too.
but you're pivoting to something that doesn't apply to what we're talking about. You said what billionaires? Those are the billionaires.
Okay.
The billionaires controlling your information and controlling, and that's part of brainwashing is controlling. Information control is like literally the middle part of brainwashing.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that.
There you go.
So, according to the World Population Review, there's about 3,500 billionaires in the world.
Wow. That many?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that high, to be honest with you. But you only hear about a couple, 3, 4, maybe. I don't know about the rest of them. That's what I'm trying to figure out, because
Chuck,
even us people on this panel, we're not all got a bad thing going, do we?
Chuck, oh God, it'll really depend on what it depends on what we consider as good or bad, Chuck. I mean, I'm in a good spot, but I also know that there's a lot of other human beings who are like me that are not in such a good spot. And what Jesus showed, the way of God, is selflessness. The egotistical fools we've got in the billionaire club who think they're somehow superior to everyone else. This is insanity. How do you not see that selfishness is wrong?
I don't see these people out there professing that the world people, or even just take the United States, that the people is a bad thing.
Well, I think what Jack is referring to is their ideas about overpopulation and how people are causing the problem and how they don't have the ability to change things. The solution is
We're not overpopulated according to the statistics.
But Chuck, those who own everything interpret those numbers a little differently than you and I. That's what Machine Lies is saying.
yeah. Yeah, actually, I could pull up some quotes by some of these guys, right? Because there's important quotes, by Bertrand Russell and stuff. One of the things he says is that there's too many people, right? And this is in the Scientific Outlook, right? And he says war is not a good way to curb the population, right? That war has hitherto been unsuccessful in keeping the population problem at bay. But what we need is bacteriological warfare. This is what he suggests. And then he goes on to detail how society should be ruled by the needle and how we can control the population that way.
Where is this guy in charge of, or where does he live at, or?
In Britain.
Yes.
Okay.
With all due respect to Bertrand Russell, but he needs to fix his gut microbiome. He'll be saying crazy stuff like this, and maybe saying things like Thanos did nothing wrong. This is just nuts.
Well, I'm one of those that truly believe that what happened a couple of years back was a experiment that got away. I'm a firm believer in that.
Okay, so can you source that back and understand what might have been behind that? We've got people playing games here in the world, and there are things happening that they don't tell the mainstream public. Hey, Emily, thank you for swinging through and for the contributions. Blessings to you. Hope you have a beautiful night.
So I was able to discover that quote, if you don't mind, Jack. I'll read
Please.
this. This is from the Scientific Outlook by Bertrand Russell. He says, I do not pretend that birth control is the only way in which population can be kept from increasing. There are others which one must suppose opponents of birth control would prefer. War, as I remarked a moment ago, has hitherto been has been disappointing in this respect, he says. But perhaps bacteriological war may prove more effective. If a Black Death could be spread throughout the world once every generation, survivors could procreate freely without making the world too full. There would be nothing in this to offend the consciences of the devout or to restrain the ambitions of nationalists. The state of affairs might be somewhat unpleasant, but what of that, he says. Really high-minded people are indifferent to happiness, especially other people's, he says. So I think that basically sums it up.
Yeah, that guy's lost. He has not done any inner work.
Right, but Chuck, this is the problem. I've seen modern interviews with one of the billionaires. He says he doesn't do self-reflection, right? He doesn't go inside to review his morality or choices. And I believe Donald Trump is kind of the same way. They've learned how to deny, distract, deflect, and overcome. It's the pattern of the narcissist. But go ahead, Hank.
Yeah, it's worse than you say. So a lot of the things the billionaires do is that they leak what they can do in white papers, then cause idiots for not finding it and stopping them. Then they say, well, we did tell you. You were just too stupid to figure it out.
Yeah, I'll tell you something really comical, guys. The guy whose quote I just read, he actually got a Nobel Peace Prize for being an anti-war activist, if you can believe that. It's a comical world that we live in.
I agree with that.
They can spread anti-human rhetoric on the one end, and then on the other end, they could, be rewarded for being peacemakers.
Yeah. Incredible. Especially ironic when we remember that Alfred Nobel was a dynamite inventor and merchant.
Right. This is the thing. It is God's story, though. And it's all coming together. I believe mankind is about to have this breakthrough and a transformation because the old ways are crumbling. They cannot.
What leads you to that thought? These signs. What signs do you see?
What God has shown me, what I experienced in my life has confirmed to me that God is with me. The ideas of peace on earth, right? It's my interpretation of the prophecies. The return of Christ is when the body of followers and believers unite together to be the living truth and to bring forth the living truth in harmony with God. And in harmony with God is miracles, guys.
But
I know.
Doesn't the Bible say that Jesus is the one that brings the peace back? Or am I wrong?
Yep. And for authentic believers and followers, he lives through them.
It's not only that, but the Antichrist is the one spreading the war. Jesus stops the Antichrist, right? So yeah, Jesus brings peace by getting rid of that guy, right? So he gets the guys that are starting the wars.
Yes.
Yeah, but who's that guy? I think there's many out there that's worse than Trump, to be honest with you, unfortunately.
Yes. So I want to talk about what Jack said. So the guy who says he doesn't do introspection, the billionaire, that was Mark Andreessen. And I think he was lying. I think he's trying to trick us all position, say, well, I'm so successful because I never introspect. But we already know these billionaires go on like 8 vacations a year, do all kinds of insane, crazy drugs. I think he was just trying to trick his opposition. Say it was cool to not introspect. I never read. And I think he was lying.
Who did you say, Hank?
Here,
Mark Andreessen, the guy who says he doesn't introspect. I think he was lying to us, trying to trick his opposition, trying to make us believe introspection is bad.
Thank you. Hey, I want to check in real quick. DNW, I've got a set to head over to you. Are you still starting soon?
Oh, yes. Thanks for reminding me, Jack. I'd completely forgotten.
Is Imperius still in the basement?
So I appreciate that wake up, Jack. I'll leave now, Jack, and I want to say thank you again. As always, it's there seems to be unlimited rewards here on your show, Jack. Every time I come here, there is a progress being made. And sometimes it may not seem so, but when you step back after the show, guys, and I would ask you all to do this: reflect on what happened, learn from it, and come back next time with new insights and wisdom.
Yeah, Carl,
thank you, Jack. Yep. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, blessings to you, DNW. I appreciate you. And as I mentioned, he is going live here soon, and I've got a set to head that way. Can we start doing some final words?
Is Imperius still back there? I keep seeing the chat light up.
Yes, he is still back there.
Okay. I'm on my phone, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me on again, Jack. Thank you for coming on, other guests, including the Machine License Chuck. I'm going to just step out. See you soon.
Yeah,
much love to you, Hank.
All right, I'll go ahead and split too. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate it. With God in our lives, everything's possible.
Amen. And you know what? Sincerely, thank you for your support and your generosity today, Chuck. Coming through.
I told you in private, I don't hate you. I look at you as a brother. In fact, you and my brother share the same birthday.
That's fascinating.
I don't know if that means anything. I'm not into all that strange number shit, but I don't know. Maybe it does mean something. I don't know. I'm a rookie at this crap. All right, Jack, have a good one.
All right, brother. Thank you, Chuck. I do appreciate you swinging through as well. Machine Lies, thoughts from you? I do still have Imperius. I'm probably going to see if he's still here at the end. I'll give him a chance, but for you first, please.
Yeah, so here is the 3 chapters I referred to in the beginning of the show, right, about goodness. So this is about the title of the show, right, from the Tao Te Ching. It says, Chapter 2, under heaven, all can see beauty as beauty only because there is ugliness. All can know good as good because there is evil. Therefore, having and not having arise together. Difficult and easy complement each other. Long and short contrast each other. High and low rest upon each other. Voice and sound harmonize each other. At the end of the chapter, it says this: creating yet not possessing. Working yet not taking credit. Work is done, then forgotten. Therefore, it lasts forever. Here is another one from 38. At the beginning of 38, it says the line that I quoted earlier, where it says, if I can get to it, it says here, truly good people are not aware of their goodness and are therefore good. Foolish people try to be good and are therefore not good. Then here's 49 from a different translation of Stephen Mitchell. It says, the master has no mind of her own. She works with the mind of the people. She is good to people who are good. She is also good to people who aren't good. This is true goodness. She trusts people who are trustworthy. She also trusts people who aren't trustworthy. This is true trust. The master's mind is like space. People don't understand her. They look to her and wait. She treats them all as her own children. Anyways, have a blessed day, everyone. I appreciate you guys. That's all I wanted to share.
Hey, much love to you, sincerely. I truly appreciate what you bring. And a late arrival. Sophia, what's going on?
Hello, good afternoon. As you know, I've just been listening in, and I'm always so appreciative when you allow TML to read as he closes out. He always picks the best things to read. And you have someone lovely in your chat that I've not noticed before. I think they're called Secret something, and they're just writing the most beautiful things in your chat. Jack, if you get time later, you need to go read that. I don't know who that is, but I subscribe to them. But what I would also like to say, to try to add to the conversation, people really are becoming more conscious and aware. The veil is really thinning. We do have the power. We do have the ability to not allow our indoctrination, mine included, because I've changed a lot since I first met you guys. And I'm still working on things, but I'm getting there. We do have the consciousness and awareness to not buy in to the doom and gloom and to people telling us we have no power and people telling us, oh, there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to accept what the Bible says. And I do. I respect the Bible. But you know what? I think God expects us to stand up to evil. And that's how the evil gets resolved. And that's how we bring light and Christ into this world. And now, I'm not saying that some of it isn't factual. I don't know. I'm not a Bible scholar. But I do think we can rise above this if enough people become conscious and aware and truly go within and truly want the truth. The truth hurts, but the truth will set you free. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate you letting me run my mouth all the time.
I love you, my sister, and thank you. You're open and honest about your growth and your development and the spirit of what you're bringing. I do agree. For me, that which is evil is that which is corrupted, that which is damaging, cruel, selfish, distorted. It is the lies and the abuse, the superiority complexes. That's what creates the evil in this world. And you know what? There's someone who is a supporter and a friend, and I don't want to be in bad terms with Imperious.
No, it's just, I mean, you're talking about corruption and all. Well, I mean, this show's now been corrupted because we're not treating people equal here. We're giving people preferential treatment by their experiences, by their sex, and by what makes them feel certain ways. See, the difference is I don't expect other people to change their life and live in a prison that I impose on them because I feel a certain way. I've been through horrible things in my life, Jack, but I don't need to tell other people that they can't live their life, say what they want, do what they want, because something bad happened to me. That's the difference, Jack. Nobody gives a shit if Emily was raped. I hope it happens to her again.
Hey,
Like,
you know what?
nobody gives a shit.
That is absolutely inappropriate. And dude, a man your age, after the warnings I've given you, grow the hell up, Imperious. You're a better man than this. You want to present yourself as a bitter bitch, do it somewhere else. You provoked me. I bit. But I'm also not going to tolerate disrespect. Not of people who I respect and I appreciate. And unfortunately, your narrative, believing that it was gender specific, that that's the reason people were treated differently. No. See, you're not considering my goals, my wants. You're thinking of your own, brother. And what I want is to have good conversations with people. And it's like, holy cows, man, holy cows. I don't mean any disrespect, but you know what, Jeeps? It is sign. It is an evidence that they're not honest. It's symptoms of confusion. And I don't mean to be critical or rude. Praise God is the way. Thank you. Quantum Epic for sure. And give them a hug. You know, hugs are what we need. Love is what we need. Love brings the comfort. Love brings the righteousness, right? God's love is known in those who are righteous. What is righteous? That which is righteous is in good with the eyes of God. And what is the commandment from the messengers of God? It's unity, it's love, it's compassion, it's growth. Now, there is a truth that Imperious said that I won't deny. We're not here to impose our beliefs on others, but if I can do something, what I hope to do with you, whoever you are, is I hope to encourage your mind, your heart to open up and maybe follow the example of Jesus for yourself. Being kind, being honest, being trustworthy, being filled with love. Chuck, blessings to you. I won't make you wait. Welcome back, brother. Thank you again. I'm going to wrap it up here. Brothers and sisters, we are heading over to Finding Gnosis for those who do stick around. I just dropped the link down there in the bottom or in the chat. Anything else? Goodness. Goodness rewards goodness. Doing good is right. It's good for you. The reward of doing good and being good is being good. Be good. Be good enough. Be good enough to feel good and then allow yourself space to grow, and then we'll see what happens in the future. To all of you, thank you again sincerely. Till next time, choose love, peace for everyone, walk with faith, and of course, live without fear. God bless you all. Peace.